Welcome back to the GUI Developer. Alright, so today what we're going to do is I'd actually like to go ahead and do some connections. So if you take a look at my main window, I want to get the connect IB working and the disconnect working. So we need to make a mechanism in the UI to connect and to disconnect. I'd like to do that through the File menu. So here in File, go ahead and type in connect. And disconnect. Now notice when I do that, two actions are formed down here at the bottom. An action for connection and an action for disconnecting. So now if I come back into my UI, or my code, in the constructor, I want to basically connect the two together. So if I write connect, and I say UI action connect, now it's a Q action, so I'll use Q action, and I use the triggered method. It will then be connected to the main window class, and inside of there we have our connection, connect IB. And I then want to do the same thing for disconnect. So connect UI action disconnect, Q action triggered, this, my main window, and disconnect. Whoop. Disconnect, and I'll make it a unique connection. Now let's go ahead and make sure these are actually working. So this will take me to connect IB, and this will take me to disconnect, which I haven't set up yet. So here's connect IB. So I'll go ahead and put a breakpoint right here, and go ahead and run the program. Now I'm just going to focus on the code right now, try to make that connection, and see my breakpoint got hit. So that's terrific. Breakpoint is hit, makes all the calls. Now I can check and see if this is true. It is, you see? So right here, when it checks to see if IB is connected, you see that? It's returning if IB is connected. It is true. So it's telling us that we did connect the interactive brokers. Now if it's connected, it's going to request the price and initialize the historical data. Now none of these things we can see. We haven't implemented anything yet. Okay, so now I know that is actually operational. So it is connecting using our signal and our slot. So the next thing I want to do is I need to make something so that I know it's connected or not. So I need to have like some kind of a label. So if I come on into my header file, come on up here, and I'm going to let's make a Q label. Now I'm going to have to import the Q label, or include it. So let's include Q label. So here's my connection label. And so I don't forget, let's come in, oops, drawing connection. There. So now if I come back to my CPP file, I want to put this in the status bar, I think. So why don't I go ahead and make a new method, and I'll call it init status bar. And I'm going to make it private. So let's see. And I want to make it a void. So I don't want to return anything. So I'll say void init status bar with no parameters. There. There we go. So now in my init status bar, I can now go ahead and say, all right, why don't I initialize this with some text? So m status label, connect label, equal to new q label, and let's say not connected. Okay, great. Now I need to be able to add this label to my status bar. So I'm going to say UI status bar, add permanent widget, and I'm going to add the status connection label. Okay, great. So now I think I'm going to go ahead and try to run this, and it doesn't seem to work. So let me go look in the code again. Go ahead and stop this. Let's go back to my UI. Am I even showing this label? I don't think so. So let's see the status bar. Okay, so now I'm going to call init status bar, and here we go. Not connected. Shows up. Okay, terrific. Now I'd like to do something else too. And I think what I'd like to do is I'd actually like to draw a little square, a green square, when this is connected. So I'm going to come back here to my header, and I need another label. So inside here, I'll say make another label, and I'll make it connection box. And then I'll go ahead and on the init method, so in here, I'll go ahead and initialize it. And I'm not going to have any text in it. But the next thing I need to do is, well, I need to also add it. So I'll go ahead and add this. So UI status bar, add permanent widget, a connection box label. So now I'll add the widget, but I need to be able to draw the box. So I think I need another method. So add another private method, and let's see. I'll call it a draw square. Void draw square. Now inside of draw square, you know what? I need to pass it a color. Just thought of that. A Q color. And Q color. So what I need to do now is I need to create a pix map. So I'll say Q pix map, and let's make it 15 by 15. So that's step number 1. The next thing I think I need to do is I need to fill the pix map with a color. Oh, you know what? I need to give the pix map a name. Q pix map, pix map. Okay. Now I need to fill the pix map with a color. And that will be, Q color, and I'll make it transparent. Then the next thing I'll need to do is I need to create a painter, like a painter object. And I need to pass the pix map to that painter object. So I can say Q painter, and then the reference to my pix map. Now the reason why I need to do this is because the painter needs to actually paint something. So we're getting this error right now, probably because I need to include QPainter. Now let's see if that solved the problem. It did. Terrific. So I created my QPainter. I passed the pix map, which is going to draw. Then I'll set the brush. So the brush will be the color that's going to be painted. So to do that, I say painter.set brush, and I want to set that with the in color. Then I actually want to draw the rectangle. So draw the rect, and I'll just make it 0, 0, and then 15 and 15, which is basically the pix map size. Now I could have made a variable with 15 in it, since it's a square. Maybe that's a good idea. Why don't I just say int size equals 15, and then I can just do size this way. If I ever want to come back and change it, it makes it easier. So now I drew it, but what I need to do now is I actually want to set it to my label. So if I say the connection label dot set pix map, and I can set it to my pix map. There. And now, when I initialize my status bar, I'm going to go ahead and draw the square and make it transparent. Okay, So now it's transparent. Now I'm going to go ahead and run it, and let's see if it actually does something. Oh, it did. Look at that. There it is. You see the little box? Terrific. So we're making some progress. But now what I would like to do is when it actually connects, I would like to change that color. So now we're going to do some fun code. So I now need to go to my connection. So when it connects here, I'm going to check to make sure it's connected, which is right in here. But before I go ahead and request any of this information, what I think I'd like to do is I would actually like to set the status label to connected. So m underscore status connection set text, and let's make it IB connected. Now I'm then going to do some, now they're all even. Okay, so now what I'd like to do is I want to set the Q color. But I want to set the Q color depending upon whether or not it's connected or disconnected. So I'm going to say Q color, and let's say color is equal to, how am I going to do this crazy code? So I'll say Mirko is connected to IB, true. If it is, let's set it to green. Otherwise, let's set it to red. And now I'm going to draw the square, and I'll draw the square with the color. So let me go ahead and run it again. Go up, make the connection, and it's green. Nice. That's beautiful. Terrific. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. But now, when I disconnect, well, I need to set it back again. So when I disconnect, let me go ahead and say, draw square, transparent. And I'll run it again. It's exciting stuff. There it is. Now let me go ahead and connect. It's green, IB connected. And when I disconnect, well, it goes off, but I forgot to do the text. So let me go back and do the text. So I'll just copy this. So it's going to be m underscore status, set the text to not connected. Now I'll go ahead and run it again. Let me see, connect, nice. Disconnect, beautiful. Look at that, it's like a little switch. Connect, and then disconnect. Okay, great. Connect, and disconnect. Now, it's saying it's connected and disconnected, but I think I forgot something. When I disconnect, I'm actually not disconnecting from IB, so I need to put that in there. So I need to say, come up to look at the connection, look at the connection, see, start connection. So before I do that, I'll go ahead and say, Mirko, disconnect. Now if I come back to here, this is void. So see, I can't tell whether it's connected or not, but I can tell if it's connected here. So using the same kind of idea where I checked this connection, once I disconnect, now I can go ahead and check to make sure that it's actually disconnected. And if it is, then I'll set them. So let's go ahead and try this again. Connect. Now I got the green. Disconnect. Oh, it didn't work. Well, let's see what's going on. So let me put my breakpoint. Whoops. That's not working. Why isn't this working? There. No? Not cooperating. I'm clicking in the wrong place. That's why. There we go. All right, let me try this again. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and connect. And I'm going to go ahead and disconnect. All right, so that got hit. Now let me step over. But you know what? That's never checked. See, it never gets set again. I forgot to do this. There. Now, let me check. And I could actually just take this and put it inside this method. But I struggle with that sometimes, and the reason why I do is because debugging. If I want to debug this, it's easier. I like to just have the variable. Nope, I put a space there, so I have to redo it. It's all about a little process. Okay, so now go ahead and connect. Now I'll go ahead and disconnect. There it is. Is this false? Yes, it is. Turn that off. Boom. And we have the disconnection state. Nice. Connect. I've got green. Disconnect. I've got clear. Terrific. So now that we're able to connect and disconnect, next episode, try to load some data. I hope you enjoyed today. Stay tuned and happy coding.